Hello and welcome back to another vlog. Today I have my ingredients out, I'm back in the kitchen, I'm cooking up a storm and I am going to be showing you how to make the GOAT steak pasta. So here is the ingredients list of everything that you're going to need. I have started off with a grass-fed 10-ounce ribeye. I've gone for ribeye, a bit of fat. It's going to obviously generate that little bit of sizzle on the pan. The fat's going to render, it's going to give that extra flavour. If you want something leaner, go for a fillet, go for something a little bit less fatty, go for a smaller steak. But again, calories are not an issue today for me, so I am not concerned. A pasta of your choice, whatever pasta you fancy. I've gone for penne. It does not really matter. Penne pasta, £1, so it was easy for me. Parmesan, no brainer. Get a nice flavour of cheese, to be honest. If you're going to have this, get a nice flavour of cheese. No point having a nice steak and then rubbish cheese. And some cream, of course. We're only going to use one onion for this recipe, but I pulled 2 red onions out of the fridge because they were in the fridge. And same with garlic. This was in the fridge because I bought it earlier on. Just use a couple cloves of garlic, whatever you fancy. Bit of flour to season up, thicken up your sauce, and salt and pepper, as well as some oil and butter to baste and cook that steak. This is all the ingredients that we're going to need for this recipe. So here is the close-up on the ingredients list. As you can see, nothing too major going down here. I will drop it all in the caption as well, all the ingredients used. So I am going to start off here. I am going to place my pot on the scales and I'm going to weigh out 100 grams of the finest penne. It would be helpful if I could actually see the pot. 100 grams is all I'm going to use. Again, I said I'll put the ingredients in the caption. This bag will not open. So 100 grams of, ooh, that came out quick. 100, 102, that's well annoying. Right, I'm gonna go, for caloric purposes, I'm gonna make it bang on 100. That's 9, give me 1. Right, we need a bit of maybe half a penne. That should work. 100 grams of penne. When I tell you that was the biggest battle on earth to try to get to 100 grams, and now it's gone off 100 grams again, so there we go. It should be 100 grams anyways. 100 grams of penne to start off with, or whatever pasta you choose to use. We got there in the end. 100 grams of penne has been weighed out. Next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to dice up 1 red onion and get my garlic prepared as well, because I'm going to use garlic in both the sauce mixture and while cooking the steak. So I'm going to use chopped up garlic in the sauce mixture and while cooking the steak. Now you can laugh at me while I cut up this red onion because I am useless at chopping onions. Absolutely brutal. And a little reminder for you is, if you do not bring your steak to room temperature like I am now, that's why it is out here still, and I'm going to season that next. If you don't bring your steak to room temperature, it is going to cool the pan down too quickly and it's just not going to cook the way you want it. You want that sort of like rare inside, which you will not get if you do not bring it to room temperature. So there's my chefing advice for the day. And just to outline as well, like, this isn't necessarily a good daily meal. I just fancied cooking up a bit of steak pasta. I got all the ingredients. These aren't all things that tend to be sitting in my house, in particular Parmesan and double cream. They're not things that I tend to keep hanging about. I need to move that out of the way. But anyways, that's not really here nor there. The main point is that it is a high protein meal. You'll see the macros at the end. I'll put them either on screen at the end. Maybe I'll even stick them up now. But it is a high protein meal. But again, it's not one that you're going to have all that often. That piece of onion looks rubbish, so that's getting chucked in the bin as well. It's not one you're going to have all that often. And yeah, do not laugh at how I decide to cut onions. It's functional cutting of the onion. And it is actually a bit soft, this red onion. I don't really know why. Maybe it was sat in the fridge for too long, but we will live to tell the tale, won't we? So I'm going to dice this up, dice this garlic up, and then I'm going to season that steak, which I'll be showing you probably in the next clip. Hopefully I'll have these diced up. I'm feeling the pressure now on the camera while dicing my onion. Now that we have our garlic and our onion diced up, we are going to season up this bad boy. Season up this steak, alright? So now it's also at room temperature now. Oh, that's loud. It's at room temperature now, so it's going to be perfect. Look at that bad boy. And we're going to heavily apply some salt and pepper. Heavy on the salt and pepper, all right? You want to go loads of seasoning on both sides. Rub it in with the hands. Be generous. You need that steak well seasoned. Good quality piece of meat. And get amongst it. Give it a little rub with the hands. Beautiful. Beautiful. Flip that over. Now we're going to do the same. Look at that one side. Going to do the exact same on the other side now. Don't worry. I'm going to wash it all down. And I'm doing loads of salt. And this pepper grinder is absolutely rubbish. But I'll probably be here for another 5 minutes. Grinding loads of pepper up on it as well. Once this is now seasoned, I'm going to grate some cheese. And I get that cheese grated. And then I'll be ready. The pasta's boiling behind me. It's nearly ready. Probably start preheating the pan as well. Because I want that pan, that skillet red hot. If you have a cast iron, use a cast iron. If you don't, no issues. That steak's lovely and seasoned now. I'm going to wash my hands off. Then I'm going to start grating cheese. So next step and final bit of preparation. Have my Parmesan cheese. Going to flick the scales on. And I'm going to weigh out 50 grams of this bad boy. So that is 211 grams with the packaging. So take 50 off that. That's how much I'm going to be using. So do the maths there. That'll leave me 100. Oh, quick maths. 161 left with the packaging of Parmesan cheese. So about a quarter of this block now. And it is going everywhere, I'm not even gonna lie. This is not the best grater to be using for a pointy block of cheese. But nevertheless, it's gonna be getting good. I have to say, any type of pasta that's Parmesan involved is absolutely 11 out of 10. This kitchen's gonna need a severe clean after me doing this. This is gonna get me. Anyways. So that was only 15 grams of Parmesan. And that seems like absolutely loads already. But I've said 50 grams in my MyFitnessPal, so I'm gonna do 50 grams. And who doesn't love more cheese? So let's get that going. Longer strokes, I think that was the problem. I was doing 2 short strokes. Right, what's it saying? There we go, 30 grams left. Maybe I should do it at a bit of an angle. Get more volume through it. I'm losing half of the cheese here, it's just breaking to pieces. I'm not even gonna lie. Nope. Almost there, almost there. Couple of grams to go. I have to pick up all those little bits of cheese as well. Beautiful, beautiful. So there's 50 grams of cheese weighed out there. That's a hell of a lot of Parmesan. I'm going to stick the rest of this block away for the next time I decide to make a bit of pasta. You know yourself. This is the up-close visual of all the preparation. Steak is seasoned. Onions and garlic are chopped. We have our Parmesan there. And over here we have the skillet preheating. Now we're going to add some oil. Pasta is almost ready. So it is coming together nicely now. Now that my skillet is piping hot, I am going to just render that little bit of fat first against it, you know, get that fat cap seared and drop this steak on for about 1 to 2 minutes on either side now. So I've just added a drop of olive oil onto that. Beautiful. And now we're going to apply our steak 1 to 2 minutes either side here. While this steak is on, I'm just going to drain the pasta now, leaving a drop of pasta water in the pot. Just a drop, because we're going to use this to create our sauce. So this is when it all comes together now. So that steak has just been flipped. I have a bit of pasta water in the pot. I'm going to add a drop of my olive oil now. So just a little drop. Steak is still sizzling here. And I'm going to add in this red onion garlic combo. I'm going to sear that off to start off with into my pot. Getting all of that red onion and garlic. So I'm going to use this chopping board to rest my steak in a second now. Get all that in there. So they're going to sear off there. Boom. As I said earlier, going to use a bit of basting with the steak. Applying a large portion of butter out of my butter dish and 2 cloves of garlic. I'm going to baste this steak up now. So as that butter melts, I'm going to flick it over that steak. Not the lump of butter actually. And get that steak basted. Probably need to drop more if I'm being honest. With that garlic flavour. Really letting that butter seep through the meat. Lovely. While those onions are frying up, I'm going to add the cream and the Parmesan in a sec. First, I'm going to get this steak off the heat. Drop more butter needed, but I'll add that in a second. And then lay this steak to rest. So as you can see now, that steak is looking healthy with that bit of extra basting. Just dolloping that butter over the top now. Gonna lift the steak off, lay that steak to rest. So that steak is looking good at the minute, as you can see. I'm gonna lay that to rest. And with the juices from the steak, I'm gonna pour some of that over the top of the steak here, and then some in with our sauce into the other pan, which I'm going to put on a low heat now and put it all together. So a bit of the juices there laying over the steak, and I lay this to rest and then attack our sauce. As it becomes time to piece it all together with our cream and our Parmesan now, we're going to just slowly put half a cup of cream in here on a nice low heat, stirring it with the onions, the garlic and those steak juices to make this nice cream-based style sauce. It cannot be on too high heat or it will just curdle completely. So it needs to stay on a low heat, and then add the full amount of Parmesan in as well. So with the cream and the Parmesan, we're going to stir this all together into a nice cream-based pasta. So really thick, really calorie dense, real creamy. Probably need to drop more of that cream and just keep it on a low heat. Then we're going to add our pasta in. Once your sauce is nice and hot, add your pasta in and it should look lovely and creamy like that. Strong scent of Parmesan, looking absolutely beautiful. Now that our steak has laid to rest for a couple of minutes, we're going to just cut it up into slices and serve it. As you can see, we should have a beautiful rare steak there. Nice, well, not rare, medium rare should I say. Nicely cooked through. Probably, looking good. Maybe a bit more done than I would have liked, but again, these things happen. It's not the end of the world. But nice, yeah, that's looking good in the center, as you can see. I'll show you a close up here. But this steak is looking absolutely outstanding. I'm gonna just cut that steak up now, and this is gonna go on top. Oh yes, in the thicker part, it is looking perfectly cooked. It is gonna look absolutely beautiful on top of our pasta now. So that is looking great, that is looking great. So we're gonna cut that up now and I'll show you the close up. So that is the close up on the steak. It is perfectly done. Bit red in the center, but well done around the outside. Look at that creamy steak pasta. The GOAT creamy steak pasta done.